Chinese warplanes enter Taiwan's airspace almost every day. Taiwan's air defense units have been on high alert. War with China seems to be imminent. Chinese President Xi Jinping has declared that Taiwan will be reunited with mainland China by 2049. But what is the underlying reason for this conflict? To understand this, we have to go back to history. In the 17th century, China was ruled by the Qing dynasty. Back then, Taiwan was mostly inhabited by aboriginal people. It had a small population of 50,000. In 1683, Taiwan was attacked and annexed by the Qing dynasty after a naval battle. After this conquest, ethnic Chinese from Fujian province of China began to migrate to Taiwan in large numbers. Then in 1894, Japan attacked China and captured Taiwan. This war was called the First Sino-Japanese War. Japanese colonialism brought industrialization to the island. The railways, transport networks, an extensive sanitation system, and a formal education system was established in Taiwan. In short, the Japanese thoroughly civilized the Taiwanese population, who were otherwise very primitive. Meanwhile, during the Japanese rule in Taiwan, the Republic of China was created in the mainland in 1912, following the Xinhai Revolution, replacing the Qing dynasty and ending over 2000 years of imperial rule in China. China was now ruled by the Kuomintang, also known as the Chinese Nationalist Party. In 1945, Japan was defeated in World War II by the US, and Taiwan was liberated. It was assumed that Taiwan would merge with mainland China, but that's where all the trouble started. Mainland China till then was ruled by a powerful Director General, Chiang Kai-shek of the Kuomintang. His authority was now challenged by the newly formed Chinese Communist Party, or CCP, led by the legendary Mao Zedong. This led to a civil war all over mainland China from 1945 to 49. But the Communists were successful. After a series of offensives, the Communists took over the capital Nanjing. On December 7, 1949, Chiang Kai-shek and some 2 million people, consisting mainly of soldiers, his Kuomintang party members, intellectuals, business elites, fled to Taiwan. Ever since losing control of mainland China, the Kuomintang continued to claim sovereignty over all of China, which it defined to include the mainland. Chiang Kai-shek in fact called Taipei the temporary capital of China and vowed to soon take back the mainland. This, however, never happened. In Taiwan, Chiang Kai-shek declared martial law. The Kuomintang ruled Taiwan with an iron fist, with the martial law prevailing for 38 years, from 1949 to 1987. Initially, the United States abandoned the Kuomintang and expected Taiwan would fall to the Communists. However, by 1949, Cold War had started, and the US wanted to overthrow communist regimes all over the world. Mainland Communist China would be their main target. In 1950, the conflict between North Korea and South Korea escalated into a full-blown war. Using this opportunity, the then US President Harry S. Truman dispatched the US Navy's 7th Fleet into the Taiwan Strait to protect Taiwan from being attacked by China. China was not deterred by this and wanted to annex Taiwan at any cost. The Kuomintang, with the help of the US, fortified the entire island. While China waited for an opportunity to attack and take back Taiwan, the US in September 1958 installed nuclear-tipped Nike Hercules missile batteries all over Taiwan. With the prospect of being nuked by the US in the advent of war, China was terrified and abandoned all plans to conquer Taiwan. This protection given by the US continues to this day. Meanwhile, Taiwan's association with the US brought immense benefit. Taiwan's economy began to develop rapidly. By the 1970s, Taiwan's economy was expanding at a rate that was the second fastest in Asia after Japan. This rapid economic growth, known as the Taiwan Miracle, was a result of the economic support from the US and its Western allies. High-tech industrial parks sprung in every region in Taiwan. Taiwanese products are in high demand. While Taiwan was prospering due to its association with the West, Communist China was backward as ever. After the takeover of China by the Communists, the Chinese economy did not grow very much, and large majority of its citizens lived in poverty. Chinese government plans to industrialize the country did not yield much results. Added to this was rampant corruption and suppression of any form of freedom. The People's Republic of China came very close to collapse in 1991. At the same time, the USSR was breaking up. But the collapse was brutally avoided by the repressive communist regime of that time. But after the fall of the Soviet Union in 1991, China opened up its economy and began to welcome capital and expertise from outside. The world responded, and China copied Taiwanese business model by setting up special economic zones everywhere. Western companies soon realized the potential of China and flocked to set up factories all over the mainland. In no time, China became the manufacturing capital of the world. The Chinese now even allowed Taiwanese companies to invest in the country. Some $150 billion of investment came to China from Taiwan. Over the period of time, the Taiwanese economy and the Chinese economy began to become dependent on each other. War was forgotten for some time. Even though China gained economic prosperity and wealth, the government in China was still ruled by the communists. The communists have not abandoned their plans to integrate Taiwan back to the mainland. During the Cold War, from 1949 to 1979, the US and its Western allies explicitly recognized Taiwan as a separate country and gave it all military and economic support. But by the end of 1979, to gain China's support against the Soviet Union, the then US President Jimmy Carter broke off all relationship with Taiwan and began to support the One China policy. This means that there is only one China, that is the People's Republic of China. While the US no longer recognized Taiwan as a separate country, it continued its military support by passing the Taiwan Relations Act. This act allows the US to sell arms and ammunition to Taiwan, but it's unclear on whether the US will come to the support of Taiwan in case China attacks. As China grows to be a superpower, it would one day come to challenge the US might. Hence, it would be in US interest to engage China by continuing to support Taiwan, thereby keeping China in its place. The US would have to play the same game it played with the former USSR, which ultimately collapsed and lost its superpower status. If you liked the video, please subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.